2023 is the year and this is Samsung's latest and greatest that I've been using for quite a few days now. So this is the Samsung Galaxy S23 Ultra and this phone by far offers the best overall performance on an Android flagship, class-leading cameras guys, superb software and a timeless look. Basically, this phone right now is the best do-it-all device, and of course, if you want to know more about my experience with the Galaxy S23 Ultra, then I feel that you might want to stick for the full video. Hello everyone, Aman here for Fiiber and this is my review of the Samsung Galaxy S23 Ultra in this beautiful phantom green color. Now before we go ahead with the rest of the video, consider hitting that red subscribe button for detailed tech videos and also turn on the bell so that you don't miss any of our latest updates. With that said, let's get started. Some like curvy phones, some like boxy phones, but what if you prefer a little bit of both? Well, that's what you get here with the S23 Ultra's design. Color options include black, cream, pink, and the one that I have, again, as I said, my favorite of the lot, the phantom green. So you get these shining aluminum rails sandwiched between curved Gorilla Glass Victus 2 on both the front and rear. The rails themselves are flatter this year, making for a better grip, and overall the design exudes beauty, and as I said, it gives a reassuring grip in the hand. Although people with smaller hands might find some difficulties using it with one hand. In my case, I have totally gotten used to, I think the S23 Ultra's form factor. I think it's even more comfortable than that of the S22 Ultra from last year. So I think it works for me. Now even durability wise, the phone has held up very well with no visible scratches or dents on the frame or on the frosted glass at the back. Yes, the front does have your usual micro scratches since I like to use my phone naked, but otherwise I think the Galaxy S23 Ultra held up pretty well. The camera island is similar to that of the S22 Ultra, but you now get slightly raised metal rings around the protruding lenses. So of course, the looks are exquisite, and one might also argue that this looks very similar to that of the S22 Ultra. But you know, I don't think there is anything wrong with that, because if you see this phone, there's a recall value. I mean, when you see this phone, now that everyone knows like what this design looks like, you can see it from far and say, oh, that's a Samsung Ultra flagship. So yeah. Moving on the front, the ultrasonic fingerprint sensor is as reliable and accurate as ever in unlocking the smartphone. The side buttons offer amazing tactile feedback, although the haptic feedback, while still being very good and very crisp, seemed similar to that of the S22 Ultra, which again is not a bad thing. Now shifting our focus from the design to the gorgeous display up front, this is a 6.8-inch diagonal dynamic AMOLED 2X display and comes loaded with all the bells and whistles such as an adaptive 120Hz refresh rate, Quad HD Plus resolution, HDR10+ support, up to 1750 nits brightness, and so much more. So being a Samsung display on a top-of-the-line Samsung smartphone, this one is a gorgeous panel. I mean, I can go on record to say that this is currently my favorite screen on a smartphone to consume content. Additionally, the large screen estate gives you so much to play around with, and of course, the colors look great, the blacks are deep, and the contrast looks crisp. Not to forget, the multimedia experience is only complemented by one of the loudest, clearest, and richest stereo speakers you can get on any high-end smartphone. Long story short, making beautiful displays is Samsung's forte, and the company absolutely delivers with the one on the Galaxy S23 Ultra. The multimedia experience gets a huge thumbs up. Now the display on the S23 Ultra is also the perfect partner for the mighty S Pen. So the S Pen is the S Pen. It's the best integrated stylus that you can get for a smartphone. In terms of features, you get superb low latency with the pen input. I've taken a bunch of notes, doodled stuff, signed a few documents, and it works like a charm. In fact, once you get used to signing digital documents with the S Pen, I'm sure you'll miss it if you shift to any other smartphone. Now on to the performance bit, the Galaxy S23 Ultra ships with a Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 processor under the hood, paired with up to 12GB LPDDR5X RAM and up to 1TB UFS 4.0 storage options. So generally speaking, app opening and closing times have been very fast, the animations and transitions look slick, RAM management has been very solid, and barring a few instances, I mostly found the apps right where I left them. The gaming performance on the S23 Ultra is fabulous, but what I especially loved about the gaming performance on the S23 Ultra is the sustained output that you get over long hours of sessions. And by the way, the phone is able to handle even the most demanding of titles like Genshin Impact, Asphalt 9, Call of Duty and the likes with ease. And overall, the gaming on the S23 Ultra feels very impressive. Now, as for the endurance, the 5000 mAh battery with typical usage can easily last you a full day or even more with medium to heavy use. In fact, the battery life has drastically improved on the S23 Ultra, and I'm not even kidding, guys. For me, I use this phone with Quad HD Plus resolution and 120Hz at all times, and I've been mostly getting at least 8 hours, sometimes even 9 hours of screen on time on a single charge. Now, in terms of your charging times, well, let me tell you first that there is no charging brick in the box, but the good thing is that this phone does support 45 watt fast charging. The S22 Ultra also supported, this one also supports it, so that is great. Now, the charger that I've been using to charge the smartphone is the 80 watt charger from OnePlus, and it usually takes about 1 hour 15 minutes to fully charge this device if you are asking for a 0 to 100 number. And on top of this, as I said, endurance is great, and the night standby times, I think they are like even better. I usually see a drop of like 1 to 2% at max when I sleep for like 6 to 7 hours. So I think that is cool. That is great for an Android flagship smartphone. Now, before I talk about the camera, let me briefly talk about One UI 5.1, the software that the S23 Ultra comes loaded with. So for a while now, we all know that on a Samsung flagship phone, we get 4 years of Android OS updates along with 5 years of security patches. And this is something that Google is still not doing. Google offers 3 years plus 4 years updates, but this one, 4 plus 5. Again, this one is getting like previous Samsung flagship phones, so I think that is also very great. Now, of course, there's nothing drastically new that you don't already know about One UI, but yes, I can tell you that the software experience has been very reliable. The software updates have been timely. Stutters and frame drops, apart from the first time I set up the device, have just not been there since. Fluid and snappy performance, and this is by far the fastest performance that I've ever seen on a Samsung's flagship smartphone. And overall, I think it's the ease, the responsiveness, the features that you get with the One UI 5.1 that makes the whole, user experience worthwhile. So with that said, now let's talk about the camera. So you're getting 4 lenses at the rear, a 200 megapixel main camera, a 12 megapixel ultra wide angle camera, a 10 megapixel telephoto lens with 3x optical zoom, and a 10 megapixel periscope lens with 10x optical zoom. At the front, you get a 40 megapixel snapper for selfies. So Samsung's cameras are mostly overlooked for producing saturated shades, but with the Galaxy S23 Ultra, I think the company has nailed it when it comes to the color science. Now, of course, the colors still don't look very neutral, but I believe the boost in colors and the contrast is just about right, and the final output that you get in the photos looks very pleasing. Additionally, the dynamic range in the shots is fantastic. HDR performance is top notch. The colors across the 3 lenses are very consistent, and the disparity is barely there. The Galaxy S23 Ultra also excels in clicking night shots, or say the shots taken in not so great lighting. Almost every other time that I clicked a photo on the S23 Ultra during the night came out bright with balanced colors and contrast along with good details. Portrait mode shots also look superb from the rear camera. In fact, from the front camera, I think this phone is one of the best for clicking selfie portraits, as the output looks crisp and natural. Otherwise, general selfies also turn out good, no complaints there. I mean, despite using a lower resolution 12 megapixel camera versus the 40 megapixel on the S22 Ultra, the quality is improved, so that is also great. One other area that I think Samsung has really improved is the 100x photos, which admittedly is still kind of a gimmick, but it's fun to play around with. Now, in terms of video recording, the Galaxy S23 Ultra can shoot up to 8K videos at 30 FPS. However, for me, I have mostly relied on shooting 4K videos, mostly 60 FPS, and the overall video output, be it 4K or 1080p, looks nothing short of stellar. In fact, the stabilization this year is mind-blowing, and I think, at least for now, Samsung does have the upper hand over the others when it comes to video stabilization. Similarly, this is the front-facing video sample shot on the Galaxy S23 Ultra. This is the 4K 30 FPS video. This is how the quality looks like. Again, Samsung is doing a fabulous job. I mean, the way the phone captures the deals with the highlights. I mean, I'm standing right in front of the sun. The sunlight is facing on my forehead, but Samsung is doing a fabulous job controlling the highlights. And apart from this, even if I shoot against the sun, so if I can make out on the screen, again, it's doing a fabulous job. Colors look great. Stabilization again is very good, top notch, and overall quality when you're shooting selfie videos, I think so you'll be more than content with the Galaxy S23 Ultra. But how does everything look? What do you think about the stabilization, the colors? What do you think about the audio? Let me know everything in the comments below. So with all said and done, I think I've made it pretty clear that if you want the best of the best in 2023, if you want the best Android flagship smartphone, or should I say if you want the best flagship smartphone, then the Galaxy S23 Ultra makes for a very strong case. But you should also note that the best does not come cheap, and spending over ₹1,00,000 for a smartphone in India is still considered a luxury. But then again, in this price segment, the Galaxy S23 Ultra's only real competition is the iPhone 14 Pro Max and the half-a-year-old Galaxy Z Fold 4, if I may include that phone as well. But at the end of the day, I think the Galaxy S23 Ultra is every bit worth its asking price, and a Galaxy S phone on a whole does not get any better than this. I mean, top of the line display, the most versatile cameras on any smartphone, about 5 years of software updates. Like, how many Android phones even do that? And not to forget the built-in S Pen, which makes this the only phone to feature an integrated stylus apart from the S22 Ultra, of course. So Fiiber rates the Samsung Galaxy S23 Ultra a solid 9 on 10. And with that, that was the video, guys. This was my review of the Samsung Galaxy S23 Ultra 5G. Now, of course, if you have any thoughts, any questions regarding this phone, then definitely reach out to me in the comments below. And as always, for all the latest in tech, stay tuned to Fiiber. I'll catch you all in the next one. Thank you for watching.